do you take under your wing?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yes, that's actually me. I did an interview with Sean Cannon, aka Mike Barnes from Karate Kid 3 and Cobra Kai. And he basically gave me all the tea for part 2 and part 3 of the Cobra Kai's final season. So if you're a Cobra Kai fan, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this interview around.
I don't know. I think Mike Barnes and Hawk would be an interesting combination.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. You guys kind of have some similarities.
Yeah.
Like top 5 strongest people in the Pat Marita universe, or
the top 5 strongest people in the Karate Kid universe?
Yeah, universe.
Well, I think you have to go with Mr. Miyagi for sure.
Yeah.
Daniel, Chosen, Johnny, Silver, that's 5, and I'd throw Mike Barnes in there. I mean, Mike Barnes did pretty well against Chosen, for a guy that was running a furniture store.
Yeah, and true, and you completely destroyed Daniel, like back in Karate Kid. You were a menace.
I mean, Mike Barnes was an absolute sociopath, and what was a lot of fun this go-around was to be able to play him as a more multi-dimensional character, to bring the 30-plus years of life experience that Mike Barnes obviously had, to give him some redemption. It was great that he was able to make amends to Daniel, but it was also equally as fun for me to be able to kind of reprise the bad boy again once Mike Barnes lost everything.
Guys, I know this interview is kind of awkward. Cut me some slack, bro. This was like 2 years ago, and I had no camera experience.
Who do you think is going to win the Saikataka tournament?
Well, I'd like to think that it's going to be, one of the Miyagi-Do students. It's going to depend on what qualities it takes to win it and who best absorbs them out of the students. So I don't know. It could be any one of them, and certainly not necessarily a boy. We're gonna have to wait and see.
Samantha has potential.
Sure. Yeah, Samantha does. Any of them do. They all have different qualities that they bring to their fighting. I think heart comes into it, and desire.
By the way, guys, fun fact, I was never supposed to interview him. I found out 10 minutes before this interview that I am interviewing Mike Barnes.
Me, I personally thought you were going to come back as a villain, as an ally with Terry Silver. I'm sure a lot of people thought that too. Were there any plans of you coming back as a villain?
I don't think so. I mean, when I spoke with the big three about their plans to bring Mike Barnes back, it seemed like they had a pretty clear idea that Mike was living kind of a normal civilian life, but then gets pulled back into having to get in touch with his bad boy roots.
Never goes away.
The thing I love about the show is that they think outside of the box. They never deliver kind of the cliche and obvious choice. It's always something that is not what you expect. And after 5 seasons of a show, for season 6, they're going to have to keep doing that for people to continue to tune in. And I have no doubt that they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy, to be honest. Like 5 seasons in, and there wasn't even one bad season. That's how the writers are actually, they're goated.
They're really gifted, talented guys, and I think the fact that they infuse so much humor into the show is something that really makes it. It makes it something that's compelling and enjoyable, and like I said, never what you expect. I think each of the characters in their own way has a real comedic vibe to them. I love how anachronistic Johnny is. He's still got one foot firmly entrenched in the 80s, which I could relate to because I'm a child of the 80s. It was the greatest generation.
Who did you enjoy filming with the most?
It was wonderful to reconnect with Ralph. Billy and I have known each other for 38 years. and I've never had a chance to work with him, so that was a lot of fun. I think a lot of people probably never thought that Mike Barnes and Chosen would cross paths in the Karate Kid universe, and the way that their stories were intertwined was so much fun. And there's that great there's that great sort of prickly relationship between Chosen and Mike Barnes, especially when he sells him the couch and everything. So I had fun working with all of them. I really did.
I'm not gonna lie, I was very nervous and he made it 10 times better. He was so nice with me and I couldn't have asked for a better person to interview.
How was it like filming with the late great Pat Marita? Right.
Well, Pat Marita was an absolute legend. Before I knew him as Mr. Miyagi, I knew him as Arnold from Happy Days. I grew up watching Happy Days, and it was a real honor to be able to work with him. He was a very, very gifted performer, gifted actor. The role that he played, Mr. Miyagi, was so far removed from who Pat was that I just think it was a brilliant performance, and I was really, really honored to be able to work with him.
Do you know karate?
Yeah, I've studied martial arts off and on since I was about 14 years old. I studied Genbukai karate, which is actually probably about the closest to what Mr. Miyagi taught Daniel. It's a traditional Okinawan style. I've studied some other styles over the years, so I always like to joke that I can get my ass kicked in 5 or 6 different styles.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Cobra Kai never dies.
Cobra Kai never dies.
Never dies.
Yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this interview and subscribe and share this gem around. And yeah, let me know what you guys think is going to happen in part 2 and part 3 of Cobra Kai. Take care, guys.